I'm Vincent McCory of VOA, coming to you from Studio 51 at our global headquarters in Washington. We start our show from Lagos with news of a new government initiative in the Delta.
Well, that's right. And rising global oil prices are boosting revenue for oil-producing countries. But militant activities have hindered Nigeria's petroleum production in the Niger Delta region. Now the government is trying to counter that insurgency with a new peace tour. Have a look.
$100 billion as unearned revenue is what Nigeria lost to the effect of militancy in the Niger Delta region for the year 2016. Devastating in every sense of the word. In the same 2016, between January and June, a total of 1,447 pipeline attacks were witnessed in the region. The results? Revenue went down. Oil production output dropped to below 1 million barrels per day against the 2.3 million barrels target. Consequently, gas to power was cut by 3,000 megawatts. It can't get any worse. For the region that accounts for over 90% of the country's revenue, the sights and sounds emanating from the producing communities paints a bleak picture. In the early days of the current administration, a military approach was adopted to engage the agitators. Again, the result only made matters worse. As the days progressed, it does appear a new song is rising, a song of hope, a song of restoration, and maybe a song of commitment. That orchestra is being conducted by the acting president, who has in the past weeks left his cozy office in Nigeria's capital city into the tucked-in creeks of the nation's resource base. That visit takes him to Delta State, Baramoti Kingdom to be precise. The highest-ranking officer in this government to visit that region had this to say.
When I leave here, we'll be visiting Kuruti, the site of the Maritime University. The President has directed the Ministry of Petroleum to work quickly to see to the realization of all of the objectives of implementing this crucial educational institution.
River State is his next stop. He visits there twice in 1 week, en route to Bayelsa, where again he rekindled hope for rapid development.
Those young men and women who are involved in illegal refining, our approach to that is that we must engage them by establishing modular refineries so that they can participate in legal refining, not illegal refining.
He has since returned to Abuja, but his visits and comments has thrown up reactions.
We're not interested in visitors. We're interested in the delivery of what the visitors are saying.
A peace mission has started in Baramoti as spearheaded by the king. So despite the degradation of this fishing community, the people of Kokodiagbene have been asked to trust the federal government.
School was too far from us. Education was very far from us. Just as I will also say that environmental offenders are far from the law. So that is why you see massive environmental pollution everywhere. So on that, we also call on His Majesty to throw his weight behind it so that that school should start the next academic session.
Clearly, the visit of the acting president has been welcomed by many. What is doubtful, derived from previous experiences, is the how soon tangible and meaningful deployment of infrastructure will happen in that region. The wait has started afresh.
Well, more now on the search for stability in the Niger Delta, as the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, visits the area with a goal of sustainable peace in the region. Well, joining me now is the program manager at the Nigeria Stability and Reconciliation Program, Dr. Ukoha Ukiwo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on.
Well, the acting president's peace tour is one of the steps in the pursuit of peace and reconciliation in the Niger Delta region. How effective do you think this approach is?
This is a very, very important step towards addressing the challenges of peace and security in the Niger Delta. The visit of the acting president is is very, very most welcome. The context for this is that since the election of President Muhammadu Buhari as president of Nigeria, with a context where it seems, or it actually happened, that much of the Niger Delta, the South-South zone, and the Southeast did not vote for the president. There were really concerns on how the president was going to engage with the region on a number of issues. And the perception that the government was not engaging would lead to the resurgence of militancy in the region. And several groups like ours have, even before the inauguration of the president, had called for early engagement with the region. So we are happy that finally the government has thought it wise to get to meet with the stakeholders. Through these meetings, it will become clearer to government what the issues that have led to the resurgence of violence and militants in the region are, and also to be able to identify the key actors to engage with for resolution of the crisis. So it's always better to be talking, and we're happy that talking has started.
Well, the government will do well to leave no stone unturned. What other strategies can be adopted to guarantee a permanent resolution of the crisis that is definitely crucial to the country's economic survival?
Well, just to say that in human societies, conflict and crisis will always emerge, and so what we envisage is to see some level of predictability and ability to manage those situations when they emerge. So it's hardly going to be the case that there will be something of a permanent sort of resolution. And secondly, that the resolution of the situation in the Niger Delta will not be isolated from the resolution of Nigeria's own national question and offering development, the sense of belonging to all Nigerians. So clearly, we would be on the path to avoiding some of the crises that we have in the Niger Delta and in different forms in other parts of the country, where income inequalities are breached, where inequality among groups, that is horizontal inequalities, are breached, where concerted efforts are made to ensure that people have access to livelihoods, young people get jobs, good and well-paying jobs, and finally, really the fact that betterment of life for most Nigerians, wherever they are living, whether in the Niger Delta or elsewhere.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ukoha Ukiwo, the Program Manager at the Nigeria Stability and Reconciliation Program, for joining us on Africa 54.
Very much. God bless.
Well, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered during the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, home rebuilding efforts are underway in northeast Nigeria in the wake of Boko Haram's destruction in a collaboration with state government. That story after the break.